Friday, even though today's not really something to be all that happy about from a rate standpoint. Let me explain why. So a little bit over 2 weeks ago, the Fed did a 0.5% cut to the Fed fund rate. And of course, many people said, oh my gosh, this is great. Mortgage rates just dropped 0.5 point. Everything's wonderful. We explained at the time why that's not the case. The Fed cut does not directly cut mortgage rates. We can talk more about that if you have questions. But we did also, however, say that we thought mortgage rates would continue to go down, that it was a good thing in general for mortgage rates. That's been wrong. And it's not so much that the Fed cut was the exact reason why mortgage rates haven't gone down, but since that time, we've seen rates slowly climbing higher. There's been a few days here and there where they got a little bit better during the process, but over the last 2 or so weeks, they've gone up. And today, unfortunately, was kind of the cherry on top. Today, the non-farm payroll numbers came out, which is something I've been looking forward to, thinking that this will help kind of reverse that trend and give us a movement back towards the lower rates that we had been seeing. And unfortunately, when it came out today, it was not good. So the numbers that came out were 254,000. The market was expecting around 140 to 150,000. Unemployment dropped from 4.2 to 4.1. And some of the other aspects of the report also showed a little bit of a higher concern with inflation. And so what we saw today was rates popped higher. And I will say this, there are some things that give us hope. So inside of that report, about almost half of the jobs that were created were low-wage jobs, which doesn't bode well for the economy. So there's still some concerns there. Also, I would say if you look back, there's some other adjustments that we've seen made on reports after they're revised. And I wouldn't be surprised to see this one revised lower, much like the unexpectedly high report that came out the beginning of June for the month of May was also then later revised much lower. So it's not all doom and gloom, but it is something that now puts on our radar, hey, what's going on? Is inflation creeping back up? Is employment not quite as weak as we thought? So all of these things are in play now, and really we've got to start looking at it and just monitoring it to make sure that this doesn't create a new trend towards higher rates. They're still very good. They're still not too far from the best levels in 2 years, but they're about 1/4 point higher to 3/8 higher than they were the day before the cut from the Fed. So the opposite of what people expected has happened there. And so what I would say about current status is that if we are closing within the next 30 days, we will be having a conversation no later than Monday. I would recommend that we're talking Monday, we're looking at rates and having a conversation, tightening up our game plan just to make sure that if they truly do continue to trend higher, we catch that before too much loss occurs. If we're outside of 30 days, I think we can still monitor the data and see what it's telling us and which direction that takes us. We've seen setbacks before. This isn't the end of the world. We just want to make sure it's not a trend. And so we'll keep you posted. I hope this helps. I hope you have a great weekend and reach out if you need anything.